Hello, my YouTube family. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you know, I'm La-Nisa King, and I thank you so much for being with me here today. Well, I have something good for you today. The title of my teaching today is There is Nothing God Can't Do. Nothing God can't do. This is going to be a very different lesson today, but I want to bring you some encouragement. For those of you that are walking through a storm, a raging storm right now, this one's for you. I'll be right back. And we're going to continue with our series on Nothing God Can't Do. It's the title. And so you're walking through this raging storm right now. There is nothing impossible. God is able to walk you through your storm. He will get you through this. And I have a couple of scriptures I want to bring to you right now. This first one is found in Jeremiah 32:17, and it says, sovereign Lord, you have made the heavens and the earth by your great power and outstretched arm. Nothing is too hard for you. This is again found in Jeremiah 32:17. And then we have in Luke chapter 1, verse 37, it says, for with God, nothing will be impossible. And then in Genesis 18, verse 14, it says, is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return to you at the appointed time next year, and Sarah will have a son. This is Genesis 18:14. And then the last one, Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. It says, Jesus looked at them and said, with man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Watch this short clip from one of Reverend Sam Oye's teachings on how our God is supreme. Nothing is a match for our God. There is nothing our God can't do.
What I've found is that there is no present or conceivable future impossibility with our God. There is nothing today that our God cannot deal with. And there is no such thing as it will emerge in the future that our God can't deal with. The nature of our God and the ability of our God has factored in all human impossibilities. In essence, there is no such thing in the human domain called impossibility that the nature of our God is not a match for. If anything with the human domain is impossible for our God, that thing becomes supreme to our God. The question then becomes, why is it that it's so difficult for us to deal with some things and God is watching them happen? Well, God has established protocols. God will not just step into the affairs of man. God has established a protocol of engagement. What that means is that God may be looking at you in captivity, and he will not because he cannot step into the issue until you invite him.
My goodness, wasn't that powerful? Wow. You must invite God into your storm in order for him to turn everything around for you. There is no such thing as impossibility with our God. No matter how bad it looks, if you will allow something to be bigger than God, then that thing becomes supreme. There is nothing that can stand up to our God. He is almighty and supreme supreme over all. Nothing, absolutely nothing is impossible for him. Let's look at a couple of accounts in the Bible that shows how mighty God is. Are you ready? Let's go. The first one is found in 1 Samuel 17. David killed Goliath, the giant, who was many times David's size. David rose up against major adversity when he decided to fight this giant. It looked like an impossible situation, but David defeated this giant. David slew Goliath with just one stone and a sling. This story shows the heart, strength, courageousness, and the ability of David. However, we all know that it is the supernatural power of God in David that enabled him to kill Goliath. With our God, all things are possible. This next one is found in Jonah chapter 1, beginning at verse 17. The prophet Jonah was swallowed up by a whale after he was thrown into the sea by his ship's crew. Jonah survives in the belly of the whale for 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah cried out to God while in the whale's belly and repented for not obeying God. Then God commanded the whale to vomit Jonah up. After this, Jonah completes the task that God called him to do in Nineveh. The supernatural hand of God was with Jonah despite his disobedience. Say it with me. With God, all things are possible. The next story is found in Esther 8. Esther was able to change a decree that was issued in writing as an order from the king. It mandated that all of Esther's people would be killed, but God worked through corporate prayer that went forth among her people and the boldness of Esther. She humbly spoke to the king and was given favor, which resulted in the decree being reversed. Esther saved her people from death. Say it with me. With our God, all things are possible. This next story is found in 1 Kings 17 through 24. Elijah, the prophet, cried out to the Lord to resurrect a widow's boy who had died. He stretched himself upon the dead boy's body 3 times, and life came into the boy. Say it with me. With our God, all things are possible. This next story is found in John chapter 1, verses 1 through 44. Lazarus had fallen ill and died. He had been dead for 4 days, and Jesus had not come to see them. His body had already begun to smell. Martha and Mary were very upset that Jesus didn't come sooner. When Jesus came, he explained to Mary, he is the resurrection and the life. Then he commanded Lazarus to come forth from the grave. Jesus resurrected Lazarus from the dead. Say it with me. With our God, all things are possible. The next story is found in Matthew chapter 8, verses 5 through 13. A centurion came to Jesus for healing for his servant that lay sick of the palsy. He told Jesus that he was a man under authority too, and told Jesus if he just speaks the word, only his servant would be healed. So Jesus saw his faith and healed the servant that very hour. Say it with me. With our God, all things are possible. The next story comes from Daniel chapter 3, verses 13 through 28. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the three Hebrew boys, as they're known, their faith was tested. King Nebuchadnezzar told them that because they did not serve his gods and worship the golden image, that they would be thrown in a fiery furnace. These boys were so filled with the faith of God that they told the king that God would deliver them. But even if he didn't, that they would not serve his gods or worship the golden image he set up. Consequently, God stepped in the fiery furnace, you guys, with them and protected Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to the point that their clothes nor their bodies were harmed by the fire. Say it with me. With our God, all things are possible. The next story is found in John chapter 9, verses 1 through 12. Jesus heals a blind man from birth. This miracle was done so that God would be glorified. Jesus wanted people to know the living God. Say it with me. With our God, all things are possible. This next story is found in Luke chapter 17, 11 through 14. Jesus entered a certain village and met 10 men that had leprosy. They all cried out to Jesus when they saw him, asking for mercy to be healed. Jesus simply told them to go show themselves to the priest. So as they went and followed the directions of Jesus, they were all healed. Say it with me. With our God, all things are possible. And the last story is found in John chapter 5, verses 5 through 9. Jesus came across a man at the pool of Bethesda that was paralyzed for 38 years. Jesus asked the man if he would like to be healed. Then he told him to rise up, pick up his bed, and walk. Immediately, the man rose up and was healed. Then he picked up his bed and went on his way. Oh, wow, you guys. I was truly blessed in teaching this message today. I hope you were as well. My scripture for today is found in Hebrews 11:6. And without faith, it's impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly or diligently seek him. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share my videos with family, friends, and loved ones. When you like the video, YouTube will share it more because of what people are typing in, and it will come right up when it comes to words like storm, raging storm, walking through the storm, different words that are similar like that. This video will come up. Please, guys, help me reach my goal, my 4-month goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers, my audience. Spread the word about this channel and my book, so I will be able to do so many things, you guys. Well, I love you, love you, love you so much. God bless you and keep you, and I will talk to you soon. I love you guys. God bless you. Bye.